Love or hate Donald Trump, but this man is hilarious. Sometimes his behavior sparked serious political anxiety, and sometimes it made the nation collectively shrug and then move on. Let's take a look at some of his weirdest moments together.
How do you like my garbage truck? This truck is in honor of Kamala and Joe Biden.
Take, for example, Sharpie Gate. As Hurricane Dorian was approaching the U.S., Trump tweeted that South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and Alabama would be affected. This apparently caught guys in Alabama off guard, leading them to prepare for the worst. But the National Hurricane Center jumped in with a tweet clarifying that Alabama will not see any impacts from Dorian. Talk about a whoops moment. But Trump wasn't ready to concede defeat just yet. 3 days later, he gathered reporters in the Oval Office, proudly holding up an NHC map that had mysteriously been altered with a Sharpie to include Alabama. As reporters looked on in confusion, Trump pointed to the map like it was a masterpiece of art.
And you see it was going to hit not only Florida, but Georgia. It could have, was going toward the Gulf. That was what was originally projected.
And he didn't flinch when the Sharpie incident came up at a press conference.
Sorry, and that map that you showed us today looked like it almost had like a Sharpie.
I don't know.
And thus, Sharpie Gate went down in the annals of history. Next, we've got Hurricane Harvey. After the storm, Trump and Melania visited Texas to meet with FEMA officials and first responders. Trump insisted he wasn't there to talk about himself. How humble. But then he couldn't resist patting himself on the back.
Thank you, everybody. What a crowd, what a turnout.
Yes, because when people are recovering from a natural disaster, they just can't wait to hear about the president's fabulousness. And let's not forget Hurricane Florence, which Trump described with a uniquely poetic flair that had everyone scratching their heads.
This is a tough hurricane, one of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water.
Then, there was that visit to Israel's Holocaust Museum, Yad Vashem. After signing the guest book, Trump wrote, "It is a great honor to be here with all of my friends. So amazing, plus we'll never forget." Because nothing says solemn remembrance like a happy exclamation and a smiley face. People couldn't help but compare it to President Obama's much more thoughtful entry.
There were numerous lines, so well written, so thoughtful. So thoughtful.
Speaking of bizarre, who could forget the infamous glowing orb moment? Trump, the Saudi king, and the Egyptian president posed for a photo while touching this mysterious glowing orb. Seriously, what was going on here? Was it a new form of diplomacy, or just one of the most awkward photo ops ever? The memes that followed were nothing short of legendary. You'd think someone on his team would have caught the potential for a viral disaster, but instead, we got this gem of a moment.
Getting a good picture, everybody, so we look nice and handsome and thin.
Also, let's not overlook his awkward handshakes. First, he held hands with British Prime Minister Theresa May like they were on a kindergarten field trip. Then, he avoided shaking hands with German Chancellor Angela Merkel, leaving everyone wondering if he was playing a game of hot potato. But the crown jewel of awkwardness was the 26-second power handshake with French President Emmanuel Macron. It felt like they were trying to break a world record for the longest handshake. Someone get the Guinness Book on the line.
It's just awfully good that someone with the temperament of Donald Trump is not in charge of the law in our country.
Because you'd be in jail.
And who could forget Kafif? Trump tweeted, despite the negative press coffee.
I hear kofefi.
Yes, that's right. No one knew what it meant, but it instantly became a word for the ages. Even Trump couldn't resist joining in on the fun. When reporters asked White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer for some clarity, his answer, well, it didn't exactly bring the clarity they hoped for.
No, I think the president and a small group of people know exactly what he meant.
Oh, okay, Spicer, thanks for clearing that up. Now, we can't forget his Halloween visit to the Oval Office. When he welcomed reporters' kids for a candy photo op, he took a moment to insult their parents.
I cannot believe the media produced such beautiful children.
And then he made a weird remark to the children who were eating sweets.
Who likes this? But you have no weight problems. That's the good news, right?
Oh, what a nice compliment for a kid, isn't it? And about that solar eclipse, there's one simple rule. Don't look directly at it. But did that stop Trump? Nope. He stared right at the sun. while everyone else was trying to protect their eyes. At least he eventually put on protective eyewear. Better late than never, right?
I am the chosen one.
And finally, in a plot twist worthy of a soap opera, we have the infamous Stormy Daniels saga. You'd think a US president would have bigger fish to fry, but in October 2018, Trump took time out of his busy schedule to troll an adult movie star over Twitter. Daniels claimed she had an affair with him back in 2006, and the drama unfolded from there. After a judge dismissed her defamation suit, Trump celebrated with a tweet saying, "Great, now I can go after Horseface and her third-rate lawyer in the great state of Texas." And Daniels didn't hold back, responding with, "I game on, Tiny," just when you thought the drama couldn't get juicier.
I have such respect for women.
Speaking of faces that cost a pretty penny, let's talk about Trump's metamorphosis. The former president's relentless quest for perfection gets a spotlight in his new biopic, The Apprentice. Though let's be real, he's not exactly a fan of it.
I was angry.
His first wife, Ivana Trump, once spilled some pretty wild details in her divorce deposition, claiming that Donald flew into a full-blown rage after a painful scalp reduction procedure back in 1989. In case you're wondering, that's a surgery to reduce balding.
Donald during the divorce was brutal. He took the divorce as a business deal, and he cannot lose.
And apparently, Dr. Stephen Hufflin wasn't just working on his head. Ivana also claimed he gave Donald a little liposuction on his chin and waist. So yes, even back then, Trump was committed to keeping it tight.
I don't have thin skin. I have very strong, very thick skin.
In The Apprentice, we get a front-row seat to Trump's cosmetic journey, with the final scenes showing him going through both procedures. The director even throws in a bit of symbolism, comparing it to Frankenstein's monster. Pretty harsh, right? And funnily enough, it's the first time in the movie where we see Sebastian Stan, the actor playing Trump, fully transform into the Donald we know today. Hair and chin tucked, the transformation is complete. Now all that's missing is a red hat and a Twitter account.
Look at that guy, how handsome he is.
Now, you might be wondering if Donald's the only one in the Trump household with a knack for cosmetic enhancements. Well, let's just say his current wife, Melania, seems to share his passion for perfection. She's no stranger to a little cosmetic magic herself. Looks like beauty maintenance is a family affair. A particular post on X, formerly Twitter, had everyone buzzing and made Dr. Dan Yamini, a Beverly Hills plastic surgeon, join the discussion.
I was surprised.
Dr. Yamini took a look at Melania's transformation and suggested she might have had some work done. He pointed out that the lifted cheekbones and tighter eyes could be a result of a facelift and eyelid surgery. Plus, her chiseled cheeks and jawline might come from a face and neck lift. And let's not forget her narrower nose, which he thinks could be due to rhinoplasty.
Well, I'm very proud of Melania. She looks amazing tonight. But she always looks amazing.
Also, celebrity plastic surgeon Dr. Gary Matiki estimates Melania might have spent around $45,000 to $50,000 on her look. But back in 2016, Melania told GQ she hadn't had any cosmetic procedures. She credited her youthful look to a healthy lifestyle and good skincare, and admitted she wasn't into injectables because they might damage your face. She even said she'd follow her mom's lead and age gracefully.
It is not concern and focus of mine.
Dr. Yamini, however, believes that if Melania didn't undergo major surgery, she likely opted for smaller procedures, such as hyaluronic acid fillers, to achieve similar results. At 54, she's still a bit young for a facelift, so it's more likely that she's relied on genetics, top-notch skincare, and subtle cosmetic enhancements.
I have much more important things to think about and to do.
Another possibility is fat grafting, where her own body fat is used to enhance volume in her face. And while Melania insisted she's never used Botox, Dr. Yamini suspects she might have had it to maintain her famously stoic expression.
It looks like there's some filler that was placed in here to create this round, smooth contour in her mid-face area.
If she avoided the full-on face or neck lift, she might have tried a thread lift, which uses absorbable sutures for a temporary lift. Plus, her flawless skin could be the result of laser treatments or chemical peels.
So we are prepared for that. We have a thick skin.
But is this quest for beauty just about maintaining her own image? Or is it tied to supporting her husband's high-profile public persona?